What's happening to you to more motivation reactions, back for another reaction video. So if you're having a bad day, I definitely want you to react to this video with me, because it just came on my feed and I don't want to give away too much on what the video is about, but I'm sure you will think about how your day is going and rethink. Props to this guy for sharing all this, and I just pray that things turn around for him. But anyways, let's react to the video. If you're back to the channel, thank you for your support. If you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel for more reaction videos. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's get into the video. So I'm gonna have to take my speaker off. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, let's watch.
Single brothers out there, single men. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. That's not to mean that you just wallow and just sulk in your situation, but I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, and this is why. First of all, you can't compare yourself to married men. If you're married, cool. But as a single man, if a man has a wife that's worth anything, even if she's a stay-at-home wife and he does all the work, that's a huge help. So if he has a decent woman that stays at home while he's out there grinding, and just for the simple fact that he could have food cooked when he got home, if you have to work 12, 13 hour, 14 hour days to grind and get it, and you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat when you get home, maybe your house, your apartment is clean, your clothes is clean, you just got somebody to help you do daily chores and run around, that's a huge benefit. You know, the name of this channel is Seek Wise Counsel, and Wise Counsel says that a man should find a wife, and if he finds a wife, he finds a good thing.
Yeah.
A wife, mind you. Every woman is not a wife. Yep. Every girlfriend that you have, every woman that you come across right now is not meant to be your wife. And this is a big reason why a lot of us in the situation that I'm in today, why I'm making a video like this, talking about being broke and almost 50 years old. Now, broke, I got a few dollars, okay? But guess what? If I had a financial emergency right now, I can't cover it.
Damn, man. Count your blessings, folks. I'm glad he's just doing this video to teach us so that we don't make the mistakes he made. The biggest blessing is social media. The biggest blessing in general is having information, having the internet. People made mistakes. We're wise to be able to see what mistakes are made and be able to not repeat the same mistakes they're made. So thank you for sharing.
And in a lot of cases, brothers, we are the sum total of our choices in life. Now, in my situation, in my case, and sometimes, hey, you know, you can't always play it safe. I was not the play it safe type of brother growing up. What do I mean? What do I mean by that? That means I took calculated risks as far as my employment goes. I learned earlier in life that the 9-to-5 job really wasn't for me. That's what I'm doing now because that's the situation that I'm in. And if you find yourself in that situation, you know, stick it out. Stay there until you can figure out how to do something else. But I had a stable career. I had a good job. I was doing IT. I was making decent money in my mid-20s. But that lifestyle, that office environment, that corporate America lifestyle, I knew early on it wasn't for me. So I started my own business. I started a carpet cleaning business, and I did well. But like I said, choices that you make can end up affecting you down the long run in ways that you don't know. Now fast forward to about a little more than 10 years ago, I shut down a successful moving business.
Why?
I got married to a woman that she's alright, but she's not a wife. She wasn't a wife. But guess what? Guess whose fault it was? Mine. Because God hold man responsible for man choices. It don't matter what your woman do. This channel is Seek Wise Counsel, so this channel is going to be, the content on this channel, I'm always going to go back to the wisdom of the book, the wisdom of the Bible, the wisdom of Solomon, the richest man, the richest brother that ever lived, King Solomon. And then when he reflected back on all his wealth, he said, you know what? It ain't about nothing. and he made bad choices, terrible choices, based on his affinity for women.
Lust.
1,000 wives? Come on now.
No need.
You know that ain't nothing but trouble. We can't even deal with. We can't even handle one. This brother had 1,000 of them, and it ended up being that when he made the decision to get all the wives, that's when his life did like that. So if you find yourself broke, and hopefully you're younger. Hopefully this video you come across this video and you might be in your 20s. Well, if you're in your 20s and you broke, I don't really even consider that broke, because that's the stage of your life when you're supposed to be trying to figure this whole thing out. Anyway, you might just be getting out of college and you broke.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Like I said, we have a bad habit. We tend to compare ourselves to other people. And for one, you can't do that because you don't even know what they got going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Right? True. That's just one. Again, a single brother comparing himself to a married man, that's not a true comparison either. Now, you could be a brother that chooses to go that traditional career path. Well, there's a little bit of stability in that. But guess what? Even now, right, with the cost of gas, cars, groceries, rent, everything else, look, somebody's going to be a casualty of all of this, right? And I'm not saying that you should stay there where you at and just accept your circumstances and your situation, but look, there's going to be casualties as we get closer to the end. There's going to be casualties. Men are going to fall by the wayside just simply because of the situation. We cannot, our ability to provide like we used to provide has been compromised. It didn't used to be this way. You could make, I don't know, you could make $40,000, $45,000. No, you wasn't balling out of control, but you could afford a decent apartment. Not too long ago, you could afford a decent.
He's speaking facts. I lived here for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years alone. Every single year is going up. Every single year, gas is going up. Prices for everything is going up. 50K 10 years ago isn't 50K now. You damn well need over 100K. Even that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Crazy.
It's an apartment. You could have a little bit of money left over to go on vacation once a year. And this was in your lifetime. If you listen to this video, this was in your lifetime.
Yeah.
We're not there anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, don't beat yourself down and go into states of depression.
Yeah.
If you're basing your life based on what you see on this platform, what you think everybody's living this life. B, you comparing yourself to married men, or even a man that's living with his girl, living off his girl, however you want to put it. And C, maybe you ain't even 30 years old yet. Look, life is like this.
I'm 30. I wonder what I was gonna say. But anyway, let's keep going.
Right? I wasn't always at this place. I had a thriving moving business. Now I wasn't a millionaire, but I was well into the 6 figures. I made bad choices, but at the end of the day, you know, I realized that I am where I'm at. One, because of my choices, but two, like, you know, God put you in certain places. God put you in places to show you something, to show you things.
Yeah.
He'll break you down to your socks to say, look, what you gonna do now? Yeah. And when I say God, I need y'all to understand something. You know, this is a subject for another video, but I'm not talking about the traditional views that people have in church. Okay? That's just one thing. We'll get to that in other videos. But back to the subject, like, being broke at 48 years old is a very, very, it can be, it's some rough days, bro. I had some dark days dealing with what I'm dealing with. Single, no money in the bank for retirement. I'm getting closer and closer to that age. But look, each day the book say every day is the evil of today. That's enough. Don't even worry about tomorrow. You need to take care of today. So the first step is, look, stop don't make. It's okay to plan, right? It's okay to plan for the future, but some things you can't plan for.
Yeah.
I give you a perfect example, and then I'm gonna end this. I give you a perfect example. I'm getting on my feet. Credit back up in the 700s. Paying off some debt. You know, had to hit the reset button on a few things. Things starting to financially start to maybe slightly turn around. Get a letter in the mail. Wage garnishment. What is this? Open it up. It's from 2016.
That's crazy.
I'm not even sure if it's mine. I'm looking at it like, what is this?
That's crazy.
It's always something, bro. And that was from a situation. 2016, I was married, so I was like, yeah, it probably is. I was racking up debt, being a fool. You know what I mean? So don't be too hard on yourself. Take me as an example.
Yeah, man.
That you need to make wise decisions. Try to make wise decisions in your 20s. And even if you do that, you can't predict life. Nobody would have predicted. Nobody could foresee. Now, if you got a little wisdom, which I didn't, but if you got a little wisdom, you know as time progresses, things only are going to get worse as we come towards the end of this thing. Things are only going to get worse. So, you kind of, just in knowing that, right? Just in knowing that things are going to progressively get worse, you can kind of plan. You can kind of figure out how to move and have foresight, vision on what's going to happen. I get mine from the book. How you get yours, I don't know. But you should at least know this. Things ain't getting no better. And you know that. You can see that. Yeah, some things might get better in certain regards. But though, if you look at just from your life, you're probably younger than me. If you look at just in your life, the trajectory of things. People say technology, things have gotten better. Has it? Society as a whole has been doing this. So you can plan around that. You can make decisions based on that. And one of the decisions that one of the most important things, one of the most important decisions that a man will ever make in his life,
who to marry,
is the woman that he chooses.
How do I know that? How I know that?
And I'll elaborate on that in the next video.
Wow.
Hope to find somebody who helps.
Damn.
Peace.
That's a deep. Thank you so much for reacting to that video with me. Very resourceful video. It's definitely saying a lot of things that are true. Make good choices when you're young. You know, being young is not an excuse to be careless. It's every reason why you should be even more focused, because you have more time, more energy, and more room for error, really. Because like you said in the video, it was mentioning how you could be broke in your 20s, but it's not really considered broke because at that point you're still trying to figure things out. And in a way also, you can make a lot of mistakes in your 20s and still be fine. But the grand scheme of things, start early, gain wisdom, make as many smart choices as possible, plan where you can plan, but you cannot predict anything like you said in that video. But thank you so much for sharing. Make sure to link the video down below. And yeah, may God bless you. I hope that video was resourceful. I may watch it again just to pause and try to think about things thoroughly, just to use it in my life as well. But yeah, thank you so much for reacting with me. Like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more reaction videos. God bless.